Short story number 2, Digging Out of a Hole, by Matthew McKenzie. It was late, already dark, and only a couple of cars were on the road. Jason wanted to get in quickly. It was cold outside.
I have been out too long. I got work tomorrow,
thought Jason. Jason quickened his pace to the flat and tapped his entry fob to get in. It seemed so warm to be inside the flat, but he had to go to the 3rd floor. Jason did not trust the lift. It was always playing up. He rushed upstairs, not caring if anyone might be coming down the stairs.
It's good exercise anyway,
he thought as he ran up to the 3rd floor. The door was just in sight.
Home sweet home,
Jason mumbled to himself. He took out his keys and unlocked the door.
Scarlett,
Jason said in a worried voice. Jason walked around the passage and into the front room.
Scarlett, I am home. You there?
Jason said while hoping his sister would be in. Jason noticed Scarlett's door ajar and his heart sank.
She's not in. Where the hell is she?
Jason thought. Jason poked his head around the door just in case he was wrong and Scarlett might be asleep with the door open. He was disappointed as her bed was in a mess, but no one was in that bed. Jason looked in the other rooms, even his own bedroom, and nothing, no sign of her. Jason took his mobile phone out of his pocket and looked at the phone. He quickly checked for any messages sent to him from his sister. Nothing again.
Should I text her?
Jason thought while holding his phone. Jason switched on the passage light and paused. If he texted her mobile, she might get angry. The past months have been challenging in their relationship. There were arguments. Dad kicked Scarlett out. Jason did not know why. So Jason felt that she should stay with him. It was difficult because Scarlett's behavior became more erratic. She was not in the best shape when she moved in. She was often angry and often distant. Jason wanted to care for her and be the good older brother. It's just no one told him how to handle these things. Jason held his mobile, looking at it. He was wondering what Scarlett was doing.
Nah.
Jason put his mobile on the table.
Sod that. I am not going to call her,
Jason thought.
She will bark at me, and I have had a long night as it is.
Jason decided to get a drink of water in the kitchen, and that's when he saw the mess. Pieces of plates were on the kitchen floor, and a smashed cup and food were on the kitchen floor.
What on earth?
Jason mumbled.
What is this? It's like there must have been a fight, a struggle,
Jason grumbled. Jason picked up the pieces of the plate, but noticed he had cut himself. Jason cursed under his breath. He then looked for the dustpan and swept up the rest. Jason tried to make sense of what had happened in the kitchen. Jason turned on the kitchen tap, and water poured onto the sponge. Jason took the sponge to wipe up the food. Jason could barely keep his eyes open.
Oh God, I am so tired. I am so tired of all of this.
Jason swept up more pieces of the broken cup. Jason felt he had the answer. Scarlett was here, but she must have thrown things out of anger. Why was she angry all the time? Why was she not getting any help?
I can't live like this. We can't live like this. Do I have to complain again?
Jason mumbled. Jason often struggled to be involved in Scarlett's care. He raised her behavior to the doctor and spoke to the social worker. Nothing. They all nodded to him. They always nodded when Jason talked, raised or complained. We understand, but we cannot do anything until Scarlett opens up to us. It will take time, they always said to Jason.
Well, I am out of time. I am sure Scarlett is running out of time,
Jason thought as he threw the last piece of rubbish in the kitchen bin. Jason turned off the kitchen light and forgot about the glass of water. He was too tired, and that mess was the last straw. He went into his room and crashed into bed.
That's it for today. Maybe it's best Scarlett not be here tonight. We would have fought anyway.
And with those thoughts, Jason closed his eyes. A sad feeling rushed over him as he felt he was not in control of his life. In his mind, he repeated her name as he went to sleep.
Scarlett, Scarlett.
That morning, Jason awoke to the usual alarm coming from his mobile phone. Jason got up and headed to the table to turn it off.
6 a.m. in the morning. I better get ready. I am not ready to go to work,
Jason thought. Jason was still sad. He turned on the radio application off his mobile phone. Anything to take his mind off things. He sat there listening to the news. It was depressing news again, the cost of living crisis updates worrying Jason. He thought if anyone else was going through a difficult time. Jason was at least working, but the bills were getting out of control. It was like he was trying to dig himself out of a hole. Maybe Jason could ask Dad for money to tie a few things over.
No, I can't. He is not the easiest person to speak to,
Jason thought. Jason walked back into the kitchen, made himself a sandwich, and placed the food in a container for work. Jason then put his wireless headphones on and continued to listen to the news off the radio. Jason then picked up his briefcase and headed out the door. It was slightly cold outside but tolerable. Jason waited for the bus.
Hang on. No sign of her,
Jason thought. He ran back into the flat and looked around for her. Again, no sign of her coming back in. Jason turned off his radio and stared at his mobile again, unsure whether to text her.
No, I got to do something,
Jason spoke to himself. Jason texted the message to Scarlett's number. Are you okay? You did not come home last night. Jason then put his mobile phone back in his pocket without waiting for a response. He rushed outside, locked the front door, and headed off to work. Jason took out his mobile phone from his pocket as he sat on the bus. He wondered why she had not responded. He checked if the mobile volume was up and the vibration settings were on. Perhaps Scarlett would text during his journey to work.
Where the hell is she?
Jason thought to himself. Jason looked out the window during the bus journey.
God, any place but here.
Jason felt depressed and lonely. Work was almost a blessing that day. There was a lot to do. It was fine that the manager was demanding, but Jason kept on top of things. He almost forgot about Scarlett. Maybe she would arrive home later today.
What's up, Jason? You seem a bit distracted.
His manager spoke.
It's nothing. Something I watched on TV yesterday evening,
Jason replied. Jason was worried. He was apprehensive that his manager would find out. His manager was not the most understanding person to work with. There were always schedules and things to do. Jason dare not tell him, too much at stake and too many bills to pay.
Well, if there is anything, Jason, you let me know.
The manager gave Jason a stern look. Just then, Jason's mobile went off, and Jason could see it was his friend Murphy. Jason got up from his desk and answered the call. He did not want his boss to overhear the conversation.
Hello. How are things, Murphy?
Jason put the mobile phone to his ear.
Hey there, listen, I am at college. Did Scarlett come home last night?
Murphy responded.
No. Do you know anything about this?
There was an incident at college. She got into an argument with the teacher.
Were you there when it happened?
Asked Jason.
No, but word got around anyway, can't stay long. Another lesson is starting soon. Maybe you should call her.
Well, I texted her, but I have not got anything back,
Jason replied.
Thought I'd best let you know. If you hear anything, just text me back, okay?
Said Murphy. The call then ended abruptly. Jason cursed silently, hoping other staff did not notice him hear the bad news. Jason slowly walked back into the office. His face went white as all kinds of thoughts were going through his mind.
Why hasn't Scarlett replied? Is she in any serious trouble? Maybe the police have her. What could have caused the argument? Why is this happening to me?
Jason could not stop his thoughts. It was like he was lost in the moment.
Jason, you okay?
His manager spoke.
Oh, it's okay. Just something I got to deal with.
Well, remember what I said earlier, okay?
Yes, sir.
Jason swore in his mind. What was he going to do now? Jason was sure his manager knew something serious was going on. How would he explain the situation to him? Jason just could not keep his mind on things. It was like trying to walk through water. Jason could not concentrate on the incoming calls from work. His mind was on Scarlett. Where was she? What happened at the college? The mess in the kitchen? Nothing was making sense. It was only fortunate that his manager had to go to a meeting, so there was no watchful eye of his manager. While Jason's manager was out of the office, Jason picked up his mobile phone and quickly dialed the college.
Hello, operator. Can I have the English department, please? I want to speak to Mr. Darren.
Jason spoke through the mobile in a hurry. Jason was worried his manager might come back into the office at any moment and hear the conversation.
Yes, I will try to connect you now. Just a moment.
Hello? Who is this?
A voice spoke over the phone.
Is this Mr. Darren? English teacher for Scarlett.
Yes, who is this?
Darren responded.
It is Scarlett's brother, Jason.
Jason could hear a deep sigh over the phone.
Oh, Jason, did someone explain?
Explain what, sir? I am sorry. I am trying to understand what happened.
Jason responded in a frustrated tone. It was like hearing more bad news, except the volume kept rising. Jason tried hard to be patient and not take it out on someone, but it was trying to dig out of a hole. Anger and frustration were welling up inside. Jason managed to pull back from screaming because he knew he was getting angry. He was aware of himself.
Scarlett seemed to be in a bad mood. I think it might be due to her falling behind with her homework. I do remember asking her about it.
Mr. Darren continued.
When I asked her, she just shouted and screamed at me. I began to notice something emotional was not going well. It could be her well-being. Do you mind me asking how you think she is at home?
Darren asked.
So it was true. There was an argument. I am sorry, sir. She has been going through a hard time, but the help she is trying to get does not seem available.
Jason explained.
Do you want me to refer you both to some services? We have a student's well-being advisor who could help.
That would be great, sir, but I can't even get hold of my sister. She is not answering any calls.
Jason complained. Jason looked up through the window to check if his manager was heading back to the office.
What can I do? Can you give me some options?
Well, here is the mental health line 0300 593 5834, plus you can email student support bill@nts.ac.uk.
Thank you. I will call that line later on. Anything will do.
Jason then hung up the mobile phone without saying much or a goodbye. He felt regret, but did not want to get into any trouble. With the cost of living skyrocketing, he did not want to take risks with his work. He was too scared to tell someone he was looking after his sister. Jason felt depressed. It was hard to concentrate on his work, and now all he could concentrate on was his sister. It was all confirmed from the conversation he had with Mr. Darren. Jason had enough. He picked up his mobile phone and called Scarlett's number. The dial tone went through, but it went straight to voicemail. Jason left a voicemail on Scarlett's number.
Hi, Scarlett. It's me, Jason. You did not come home last night. Is everything all right? I know we are going through a difficult time, but we can get through this.
Jason began to feel ill. He was sweating all over. Quote,
I don't think I can take this.
Jason thought.
I just don't feel well. I can't cope.
Jason got up from the desk and walked out of the office. He continued walking down the hall and peered through the window to see his manager sitting at a desk looking straight at the computer.
Boss, you got a moment?
Jason said as he opened the door.
Hello, Jason. What can I do for you?
Jason pleaded to his manager.
Boss, I am sorry. I am having a problem with my sister. Something happened last night and I can't get hold of her. It is doing my head in.
Well,
sighed Jason's manager.
what do you want to do?
His manager continued. Jason asked.
Boss, you know I got to find out what's going on. I am sorry. I got to go. I have got to find her or report what is going on.
Jason headed out of the building and wanted out of the environment. His mind was rushing in all sorts of places, and he was unsure what problem to tackle first. It was raining outside as he was waiting for the bus, and he kept thinking if Scarlett was home.
Maybe her mobile phone was broken, that's it. Her mobile phone was broken or needed recharging,
thought Jason.
Why is life so hard? Why can't things work out?
Jason spoke to himself. Jason could not keep the mental chatter out of his mind any longer. Some of the people who were also waiting for the bus quickly looked at Jason, but by then, Jason did not care. He took his mobile phone out of his pocket and looked for any messages or missed calls. He double-checked the mobile signal strength. When the bus finally arrived, Jason wanted to calm his mind. He fell asleep on the bus. When he woke up, he looked out the bus window to double-check he had not missed his bus stop home.
What's that number to the mental health support line?
Jason thought as he looked at his mobile phone again. Jason then put the mobile phone back in his pocket.
Nah, I better not call here.
Not long before, Jason returned to the flat, running upstairs and quickly unlocking the front door.
Scarlett. Scarlett.
Jason shouted as he entered the hallway. Jason looked around the place, moving quickly from room to room.
You home?
There was nothing. What was Jason thinking? The place was silent, and Jason did not bother taking off his suit. He entered his bedroom and sat on his bed with a heavy thud. Jason could feel his mind wander in all sorts of places again, but he managed to catch himself. He quickly took the phone out of his pocket and checked some notes.
That number, I am going to call it,
Jason thought as he entered the number on his phone. Jason could hear the dial tone going through, and he held his breath for some seconds.
Hello. Mental health support line. What can I do for you?
The operator responded.
I don't know. My sister is missing. I don't know how to talk to her, and
I am sorry, sir. Can you speak up? The line is not so good.
Jason spoke a little louder. Jason stood up and walked to the front room, waiting for the operator to reply.
How do you speak to someone with mental health problems?
Any idea of her condition? What is the person suffering from?
She replied.
I am not sure. She gets very emotional. She has not been checked over at the doctor's, but she argues a lot, sleeps a lot, and she is not here.
Jason pressed the mobile closer to his ear. It was as if he could not hear the response so well, but he did not want to miss anything. Jason looked around for a pen and some paper.
Hello, sir. Before we continue, what's your name? What is your location?
My name is Jason, and I am from Worcester.
Jason replied.
The person you care for, are they related to you?
Yes, it's my sister. What's a carer?
The operator queried.
A person providing support to someone suffering illness. Have you been registered as a carer or are you involved as the main carer?
I don't know how I can go around and do that. To be honest, I am beginning to feel unwell myself.
I am sorry, Jason. If you can get hold of your sister, it's best you both go to the doctor. It will help if you get a clear idea of her condition. Are you registered with a GP, sir?
I am registered with the doctors, and they are aware of Scarlett. I'm not sure about my sister since she moved in with me.
Okay, book an appointment as soon as possible. For the carer's situation, I will give you the details of the closest carer's center.
The operator gave the location of the carer's center. Jason made sure that he took the time to make sure he spelt everything correctly.
What about my sister? How do I speak to her?
Hi, Jason. It really depends on the condition and how bad things are. The best thing is to listen at first. The more they tell you, the more they can relate. It is best not to judge or make any assumptions. I can also give you a website address to go through more information.
Okay, I feel a little better. At least I got something to go on. One final thing. What if I cannot get hold of my sister?
Does she have any friends? Maybe check with them. Check with other family members.
Ah, my other friend called me. I think I will ring around.
Jason said goodbye and checked for messages from Scarlett before he put the phone in his pocket. Jason then rushed out the door. It seemed the carer center was close by, and perhaps they could tell him how to communicate with someone suffering from mental illness. Maybe they could give him advice on how to cope. Finally arrived at the carer center, it helped that his mobile phone located in the building, but as Jason looked at his phone, he noticed the battery was running low. Jason rang the bell and waited to be let in. Just then, someone was coming out of the building. They smiled at Jason, held the door, and Jason walked in.
Thank you.
Jason said, looking back. The lady smiled and walked off in a hurry. Jason walked towards what looked to be the receptionist.
Hello, I am a carer for my sister. How do I use your services because I am stuck at the moment?
Sorry to hear that. You have come to the right place. Let me get you a carer's form. We just need your name, contact details, and a few other things.
The carer advisor responded. Jason reached out to take the form and quickly looked at it.
Does not seem too bad to fill in. I reckon I can do this now.
Jason thought.
You don't mind if I can borrow a pen? Plus, do you have a charger? My mobile is going. Sorry to be rude.
The advisor laughed as she looked at Jason from behind her desk.
No, you are not rude. I should have given you a pen with the form. What make is your mobile? Not sure I could help with that, though.
Jason looked at his phone.
I don't know.
As he handed the mobile to the carer advisor. She looked at the mobile and turned it over to see where it could be charged. She then smiled.
You are just in luck. It's a Samsung phone.
The advisor pulled open a drawer and then another one.
Where is it?
She mumbled to herself. Jason sat down and started to fill in the form.
By the way, my name is Jason. What's yours?
You can call me Sally. I am one of the carer's advisors.
Okay, Sally, can you help me? My sister suffers from mental illness. I am not sure how to talk to her, and she gets angry when I say anything. I have not heard from her since. I feel down. I don't know I was a carer. I don't know about mental illness, and I feel like I am digging myself out of a hole.
Well, there, I tell you what. Have you attended a group session before? It might help talk to others about how you feel. I think not everything can be fixed in one moment.
Sally smiled.
Who is in this group?
Jason asked.
Other carers, you are fortunate because we have one starting soon. Do you want to sit in? It is a small group, and we could do with more.
Jason sat there and did not respond. Deep down, he felt he did not want to tell anyone. He felt embarrassed about telling others he cared for someone with mental illness. He was scared of how to explain things without someone correcting him. He thought he might make a fool of himself if he ended up bursting into tears.
Will you be there? I am worried I might say something wrong.
Yes, it's my group. Do not worry, you do not have to say anything.
Jason felt relieved and returned to fill out the rest of the form. Jason's attention turned to the soft music playing in the background. He tried to recognize the song, but could not recall it. The music put him at ease. Jason sat back on the chair and felt like he was climbing out of something, but only for a moment. Within an hour, Sally asked Jason to enter a small hall through a set of doors. Several chairs were placed in a circle, and some refreshments were on the table. Jason did not waste any time and sped quickly towards the biscuits as he sat down. Just then, 2 more people walked in.
Hello, everyone.
We have arrived.
Welcome, please sit wherever you can.
Sally pointed to the chairs.
Miserable weather, isn't it?
Another carer pointed out.
Hello, my name is Sandra. What's yours?
The carer smiled at Jason.
I am Jason. I am new here.
Hi, Sandra. Jason is also a mental health carer. He is exploring this group for the first time.
Sally said.
Well, you are in good company, Jason. We all have been through tough times, and we need to look out for each other. Who do you care for?
Sandra asked Jason.
My sister. I can't find her. I am so worried.
Jason looked down at the floor.
Oh, I am sorry. I am sure she will contact you. Give it time. Until then, you need to make sure you can care for yourself and then find out where she could be.
Sandra said.
I don't know. I feel like I am digging myself out of a hole, but at least being at this place is giving me some tools to help dig me out.
Jason looked up at Sandra.
Being a carer is so damn lonely.
Jason continued. More people walked into the hall. Jason watched as they all sat in a circle. Jason still felt a little uncomfortable. A lot of the group attendees were female, and Jason felt a little out of place. Jason felt bad for thinking this way. He could not help but stare every so often. He was struggling to communicate, but he did enjoy the biscuits. Jason was so busy worrying about things that he had forgotten to eat most of the day. As Sally explained the rules of the carers support group to the attendees, Jason tried his best to take this all in. It was still difficult to concentrate. He looked at his mobile again, which was charged earlier. No message, but the signal in the hall was relatively poor. Jason looked up to hear one of the other carers speak. They were caring for their mother, but things were not going well. Their mother's health was deteriorating. Jason observed the discussion the best he could. He noticed the time was given to the carer to discuss how they felt about the situation. It almost seemed the carer was complaining and getting something off their back. The carer was just frustrated with it all. They wanted change. They wanted something to be improved, but it was as if there were not enough resources to go around. When it came to Jason's turn to talk to the group, he did not say much and was just too nervous.
Jason, it's okay. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to.
Sally spoke.
Don't worry, give it a few months and he will be talking nearly non-stop, just like us.
A carer smiled.
It's just, I feel like I am in a hole, trying to dig out of it.
Jason complained. The others in the hall nodded at him. It is like they all understood. Jason looked down at his mobile phone, almost fiddling with the device. Jason felt it was good to be in a place like this, but too much was happening, and it was hard to take it all in. That evening, Jason was back at his flat. It felt cold, lonely, and dark. Jason did not switch on all the other lights. He sat in his room to reflect back on the day. Jason wondered if he got much done. He felt so critical of himself. Still no sign of Scarlett. Jason looked at his phone and stared. Where did he go wrong? Jason felt he was not trained for this. It was all too sudden, all too soon. Jason looked out of his bedroom window. He wondered if anyone was having such a difficult time as himself out there. The world looked so big outside, but inside Jason's room, Jason felt so small. Jason picked up his mobile and sent another text to Scarlett. I just want to know you are okay. Jason then searched on the internet on his mobile phone, and he found the suicide support line and dialed it.
Hello, listening service.
Jason listened and paused on what to say. The voice repeated again.
Hello. Are you okay to talk? I am just here to listen. We do not judge here.
Oh, thank you, it's just my world is falling apart. I am getting help, but I don't think I am strong enough.
Okay, I understand. Do you mind if I ask you your name?
It's Jason, just Jason is fine.
Okay, and how are you feeling? Please take your time.
Jason swore as he explained how he felt.
Sorry, I know I should not have said that. but that is how the day felt.
It's okay.
The voice on the phone replied. Then there was a long pause.
You don't mind. I think I will go now. I feel a bit better. I just wanted someone to hear me. I promise I won't do anything stupid.
I understand. Please call back any time if you want to.
Thank you.
Jason said in a soft voice. Jason slowly put the phone down as he contemplated his future.